Hi, I'm Kristen Benitez, board certified dance movement therapist, and I have a few ideas for sciatic pain relief. So please stay and watch and or participate with me. So right now I'm starting in a child's pose type of position with my knees wide apart, and I'm taking deep breaths. Take as much time as you need there. Maybe stop the recording, whatever you need to do. Next, I'm going to go straight into a downward facing dog-like position, but I'm going to open my feet wider apart, and I'm going to rock my hips side to side to allow for some mobility and some release, and just get things warm and mobile in my hips. So if this is odd for you, it's okay. You can stay in the downward dog, or you can play and just find your own flow of how you want to move your hips in the downward facing dog position. From there, I readjust my feet and I bring my leg up just to transition into a pigeon-like position. Now, if you need like a block or something underneath your hip or a pillow, definitely do that. But you always want to keep your abs engaged here. You don't want to just let everything hang out. That's not good for you. So always stay lifted, nice and tall. Deep breaths. And if you feel comfortable, go all the way over, drop your head. Some people are really comfortable in this position and can go all the way over to where you're completely have your chest on the floor. But for those of us who have a baby in our little tummy, we gotta be a little more mindful about what is comfortable for you and for baby. So I like to do a few pulses here. It's really nice for my hip flexors, especially if you sit and work a lot. It's really, really good for you to stretch those hip flexors so you're relieving yourself of sciatic pain in this position, and you're also relieving yourself of any tension you might feel in those hips. And I'm going to go back into that downward facing dog-like position with my feet wide apart. Maybe do a few other ways of moving around. You can try what I'm trying or do your own thing. Maybe just pedal your feet and that's it, and that's fine. And then when you're ready, I like to scoop my leg up and then bring it through. And while I'm here, I just kind of like to feel it out some more. I might do a little bit more movement in my hips to feel more comfortable. I like to play with flexing my back foot, getting my heel up towards the ceiling. And if you notice my hands, they are either in fists or they're trying to reach down to the floor as flat as possible, trying to prevent any wrist pain. So when you feel comfortable in this position, you can move it a little bit more. Or even if you're not comfortable in this position, I would encourage more movement until you get comfortable. And if you aren't still comfortable, movement is like your best friend. Staying completely still can be helpful in allowing gravity to take its course and pull the weight down to the earth. But if you can be intentional about what's working for you with movement, you can have a better conversation with your body about what's working. And then go all the way over like I just did. Take deep breaths there. Feel free to pause and take your time in those positions. I like to do an extra stretch in my toes here where my hips are on top of my heels and I'm stretching my toes. So if you want to go back there and do that, please do so. Now I'm going to do another sciatic stretch here where I'm laying down. Notice I have a pillow underneath my hips and I'm milking those hip joints with a little windshield wiper movement. I always like to initiate from my pelvis and then drop my knees gently side to side. Now, it's very important that this is very intentional with how this feels with your hips, with how this feels with baby. Even in this moment, the baby's moving, like in a way that she agrees. She can feel where I'm relaxing and she can feel where I'm still a little tight, and she kind of knocks on my tummy like, that's good. Or, relax, mom, relax. So once you find a comfortable position, you bring your foot up, just as I did right there. And you can choose to flex your feet, both feet, or point your feet. It doesn't really matter. It's just up to you. You'll know what feels best for you and your body in this position. And I like to use my elbow to press open my knee. Take deep breaths there. And of course, my son wants to come and give me a little greeting. And when you're ready, come all the way back down and transition back into those hip windshield wipers. Feel free to take your time on those windshield wipers. Like, they feel so good for your hips. Especially now in the third trimester where you start to feel those hips opening and it's really uncomfortable to keep them closed and restricted. The windshield wipers are so good for you. So I'm on the other side. Remember, you can flex or point those feet. It's up to you. Take deep breaths. Pay mind to what baby's experiencing too. And I also like to give a little hamstring stretch right there. If you want to, you can try that as well. Now, the last stretch I'm going to go into is not so much a sciatic pain relief stretch, but it's more of like a hip opener, like a hip opener embracing. In yoga, they call it the happy baby. You can grab from the outside of your feet or the inside of your feet, whichever feels good. And you just rock side to side. You can even play like the way I'm playing, where you kind of push your knees down a little bit from your feet. You just rock side to side. Sometimes I like to stretch my foot a little more to where I get another hamstring stretch. But just play with this position, see what feels good. And remember to take a deep breath. Now, if you pay attention to how I'm getting up, I encourage everyone to get up this way. Pregnant or not pregnant, this is so important. Please get up nice and slow. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.